Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
What do we want?
Justice! Now!
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace. No racist police.
No justice.
No peace. No racist police.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Adrian is an Asian German. You are demonstrating here in front of the US Embassy in London in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. That's a sign of solidarity between people of Asian origin and of African heritage.
Yes, Black Lives Matter means all lives matter. It means that all of us needs to be together in solidarity to bring focus to what's happening there in the States right now, because institutional racism is prevalent, and we should all unite to bring focus to this problem, because it needs a lot of people. It doesn't need, it needs all of us. So
Because of your Asian origin, did you suffer discriminations in Germany or here?
yes, it's not just individual racism, it's institutional racism. It's not a matter of looking at things on an individual basis, but looking at the system itself, because I, as of Asian origin, have been historically suffering colonial institutions that have been oppressing those who are colonized. So I know the history, and for me to bring light to the history is to bring light to to let suffering speak, all forms of suffering speak.
And now, as a EU citizen here in London because of Brexit, are you afraid you could be expelled?
No, the more we should bring light to the situation, because Brexit is part of a wider issue, which is, it has many causes, economic causes, political causes, but the most important thing is to mobilize and to bring to light a more inclusive kind of discourse, which means when you say Black Lives Matter, it doesn't separate blacks from everyone, but it just brings the focus, because we should give them the focus because they have been historically been left out. So it's a focus, not a segregation. So Black Lives Matter is all lives matter. That's the most important thing.
Olympia is a young British woman of Greek heritage. Now you are demonstrating here with Black Lives Matter. You are Greek, you are not black, but you give solidarity. Why?
Because I have empathy and sympathy for black people. Ever since slavery, they haven't stopped suffering. Like, racism never got resolved, it just changed form. And I have empathy. I got bullied in school by racism, so I've got empathy for them, you know?
And as a Greek, you have also suffered racism and discrimination sometimes.
Yeah, I have. Obviously not as much as what black people go through at all, but yeah, I got bullied for a few years at school. Just for being a bit darker, you know, my hair, my skin, a bit more hairy. Like, if you're a bit unusual, you know, and you go to like an all-white school, they find it weird, so.
And I think you also suffer because of what is the present condition of Greece.
Yeah, everyone's laughing at us right now, yeah.
Is it also a form of racism to treat by Europe to treat Greece this way?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if the intention is racist, but like just to exclude anyone of a particular race is discriminative, so yeah.
Cynthia is a young American woman of Asian heritage. You are demonstrating here in front of the US Embassy in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. Because racism is not only a problem of black people.
Yes, racism is a problem that affects all minorities and the entire system in America and all over the world. anti-blackness is perpetrated in America, but also in other countries, in the way that darker skin is associated with just negative things. And being East Asian, I grew up in America, obviously experiencing some forms of racism, but as I've grown, I've learned very much that intersectionalism is very important, that I, as an East Asian woman, must stand with my sisters and brothers of color to fight for police brutality, because police brutality is going to affect everyone. I think that in America, gun control is very important. We need to train police better and make the whole system something that is safer for all the citizens in the country.
To the front of the US Embassy to make a statement today. Met some police along the way. People of Zimbabwe. Remind us all that Black lives do matter.
But if the problem is police brutality, so gun control, what concerns?
I think that the Second Amendment in America is something that's very important to a lot of people, and I think that it was created at a time when it was important that the citizens could take arms and defend against Great Britain when we were not independent. However, I think that today it has changed, and I think that gun control should apply to both civilians and police. Right now in America, it's very easy for police to gain access to guns. I think that only certain police should be able to carry guns so that to increase civilian safety.
Every name has become a hashtag, and every name that has yet to become one, and every one that was missed because it didn't make the news. This is why we're here today. For all of the lives that have been lost to injustice, to a racist system, an elitist system that doesn't let people like us have our say. So we're here today to make that stand. We're here today to take away, because it doesn't end here.
We gon' be alright.
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 We can probably last longer than these barriers. Keep going. We gon' be alright.
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 Renee is a young British woman of African origin, and you are here to demonstrate in front of the US Embassy. Let's talk about racism in Britain. What is today and what has been in your life experience?
Well, I'm from London, which is very diverse. I think it's one of the most diverse cities in the world. So my personal experience of racism has only been experienced when I've left the city. If I've gone to Cornwall or like little villages and the countryside of the countries, when people aren't used to seeing other people that don't look like them. But there isn't a high level of racism in London. But when you see racism happening in other places, you need to care. You need to spread awareness about it, because just because it's not happening right in front of you doesn't mean it doesn't affect you or doesn't matter. That's not how you should.
Did the Brexit change the attitude of the nation or not? Because Brexit, after all, is concerning mainly the European.
Yes, it did. I had many friends call me the day of the results saying they'd been abused on the way to work and had been told they should go home back to their countries, and they'd been living here their whole lives. A lot of people I know who voted leave said they wanted people to be deported, and now feel more able to be openly spoken about their racism and don't feel afraid to be racist. So yes, Brexit has changed a lot.
And about police brutality, it's a problem only of the USA, or how serious is the problem also here?
I feel like it's a more serious problem in the USA. I think it happens here, but less so. We aren't as big on guns in any of our, anything that we deal with, so it's not readily available for people to be shot. But to say it doesn't happen here at all would be an understatement. It does happen, it's just very, very frequent in the US, and I think that just because it's not here doesn't mean we shouldn't be speaking about it.
Because he's black. He's black. Because I'm guaranteeing enough man sells cigarettes, enough man sells CDs. The black ones are the ones that get this kind of treatment. We've all seen it.
And Agatha is a young European who is living now in Britain, but you are living in London, but you have origins from different European countries. And you are here in solidarity with your friend. You are hugging your friend Ronnie to support the Black Lives Matter demo. Why? See racism also for white.
Sorry?
You see racism also for white people?
For me, I'm not here just in solidarity. I also think that it's the problem of the white people. It's like our responsibility. Racism is right now, it's white people shooting black people in the police, and we need to sort that out. That's our mess to clean up. White supremacy is killing people, and that's something that I benefit off, even though I don't want to, but I benefit off it, so it's my responsibility to help take it down in some way. So I don't feel it's just solidarity, it's about actually I have a responsibility also.
Adam, you have been leading today Black Lives Matter demonstration. You are a British man, you were born here, but you still have suffered racism.
Yes, I do. I have suffered a lot of racism at the hands of the police, but also in everyday life. As being a black man, we are disproportionately policed within our communities. We are arrested a lot more often, and we also find that black and minority ethnic people die disproportionately in police custody as well. Just the other day, we had Mazay Mohammed, who was killed in police custody as well, and still pending an investigation on that. But on and on and on, we keep hearing the same things.
Some people say that in America, police kills in the street. Here in Britain, it's easier for blacks to die in custody. Is it just a commonplace, or there is something true?
It seems like it's just commonplace for black people to just be killed by law enforcement, and on top of that, for the wider public to excuse it. Because it's not just a problem with the police. Because if it was just the police, then we'd be able to reprimand the police. But the problem is that the police are doing what they're doing and no one is holding them accountable. So when someone dies in custody, no one is sent to jail. When someone in America is murdered, no one is indicted, is prosecuted. So the situation that we have is that the wider public feels nothing when they see black people being killed. Rather, they try to justify it. They try to find reasons why he deserved death, whether he was innocent in this case or not. If he had a prior record, then he deserved it. It doesn't matter what it was for. It could be anything.
Black lives matter. 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 We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright.
And the symbol of today's demo is this black glove. It recalls to something which happened some decades ago in the history of liberation. Okay, what happened?
Yeah, so this is a symbol that was founded at the Olympics. There were a couple of Olympians who actually won the Olympics, and they wanted to make a stand for black power, but they both forgot their gloves, which they were using as a symbol of black power. And so there was another Olympian, and a white man actually, who gave these two black men his gloves for them to stand in solidarity with the rest of African America, so that they could make that stand and they could show their black power and their solidarity.